Who I wanted to ask, who are you siding with in the Chris Brown versus Quavo skirmish? And Haiti Baby, we need your answer as well.
Okay, I'm siding with Quavo because, one, I think Chris Brown is clout chasing because he wants to be acknowledged as a rapper.
You really think?
Two, you're getting mad about somebody that you ain't been involved with in 8 years.
Okay, but Chris Brown and Quavo were tight. They were good friends. Chris Brown's with a girl for like 5 years. They break up within a year or two. Quavo's in a serious relationship with her.
So what do you mean tight?
I mean, there's a lot of old tweets at the very least and old video clips and stuff. Like
they knew each other.
The Migos were staying with Chris Brown. They had a pretty serious connection.
First of all, if the Migos were staying with Chris Brown, let's get one thing straight right now. If the Migos were staying there, that's because Chris said, like, bro, pull up, let's get it in, let's hang out.
Yeah,
the Migos
he's a real friend.
Have never, as the Migos, needed to stay with no by SQC.
Okay, but we're talking like very, very early in their career where they were probably thankful. Plus, staying with Chris,
no kids,
staying in the crib with Chris Brown is a lot cooler than staying in a hotel.
It's Carucci. But watch this. This is a woman that needed comfort. You know, she claimed to have some things done to her.
But it's like you would never let that logic pass. If you were with a woman for 5 years and then you break up for 2 years and then all of a sudden I'm in a serious relationship with her.
Okay.
That's not cool.
Do you see Quavo tripping on YG?
I don't know if that's that serious, right? But they're not tight like that, right? What do Quavo and YG have in common?
Shit.
But they're not best friends.
They wasn't best friends. They knew each other.
But are Quavo and YG even friends at all?
They know each other. They cool. They cordial. But you don't see Quavo going crazy because YG's dealing with your sister from Sac.
Well, maybe Quavo holds himself to a different standard than Chris Brown holds his friends to a standard. Quavo does seem kind of emotionless, and Chris Brown, on the other hand, seems like you get every emotion out of him.
So who did you want me to pick personal, or who you want me to pick the winner in the battle?
Quavo was
Okay, first let's discuss who did the right thing versus the wrong thing. Do you think that Chris Brown is right to be upset with Quavo entering into a relationship with his ex-girlfriend? If they were real friends, real tight at one point. And then we can talk about the song.
I got two sides to that. I got two sides to that. Rule number 2, you don't own nobody. So you can't treat these women like you own them. If they move on, they move on. I ain't got no kid with you.
No kid, no nothing.
Even if I do got a kid with you.
No kid is a good argument.
No kids.
Once there's a kid, it's a little different. Yeah.
That's a good point. But it's like you don't own that woman. Let her do her. Let her be free.
Is he gonna be mad at Rihanna's? Is he mad at Rihanna's
husband? Your homie. Let her fuck with your homie.
Is he mad at Rihanna's husband?
Stop that.
Okay, I do see where you're coming from because let's be real. A lot of these mega celebrities are pretty much playing musical chairs with all the different girls in the industry.
And Carucci both have similar claims. One that went a little more further than the other, right? So that means you need to be mad at Rihanna's husband, right? Are you mad at him?
Am I mad at A$AP Rocky?
No, was Chris Brown mad at A$AP?
But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes,
I was with her. Bro, how long are you going to claim something that's not fucking claiming you?
How long can you love something that don't love you back?
On some real shit.
There is part of me that feels like the only girl that you get to claim is the girl that you are with at this exact time. And as soon as a woman is your ex, she's basically up for grabs. But I do feel like if you're really tight with somebody, Well,
how we know this ain't respect? How we know Chris Brown ain't been getting disrespected behind the scenes?
Well, it does seem like Quavo didn't exactly go to him and say, like, hey, is it cool if I enter into a relationship with this woman?
Check in with no nigga about can he holler at a female?
But if Quavo really cared about their friendship, like,
then you better put some respect on Quavo's
this hypothetical
name,
situation of me dating a woman that you were with for 5 years, it does hit different if I go to you and I say, listen, Wack, I know you were in love with her before, but I'm in love with her now.
It's been a 2-year lapse. Kristen went and had babies. She probably done dated other people in between time. Now all of a sudden, because it's Quavo, it's a problem. Quavo ain't finna be checking in, asking no nigga, yo, is it cool if I go talk to her?
Quavo made it clear how he feels about his relationship with Chris Brown if he didn't go and consult him before entering into the relationship, right? Because if he really cared about Chris, he would have gone to him and said, hey, I'm in love with her.
What do you mean
we're gonna
cared
get in a
about?
I mean, if he really wanted to make sure that the relationship with him and Chris stayed solid.
Bro, so you telling me 5 years later, 8 years later, Chris Brown is basing a relationship over a female who brought allegations against him, right?
Did she?
Allegedly. Yeah.
Okay.
Abusive all kind of shit. Restraining orders, all kind of shit. And that she don't fuck with you with no children, no marriage. We know Chris was crazy about her, right? Right? But come on, man. Like, you can't be going that hard because another man shot his shot and she chose him.
Okay, fair enough. But now that they've all put out their diss songs, I recently saw a poll on Twitter asking who had the better diss song or who was up in this battle and on Twitter, and had a lot of votes, and it said like 95% were going with Chris Brown. That's pretty impressive for a guy who is not really a rapper as his primary job.
Chris Brown's very talented.
Very talented.
Yeah,
but Quavo does this. Like, this is all Quavo does is rap.
But I have to say this, right? Quavo nephew, love him to death. Just take them niggas to Taco Bell. Love all the Migos, right?
You took him to Taco Bell?
Them niggas was the Taco Bell bandits.
Migo.
Them motherfuckers knew the Taco Bell menu by heart. And you ever seen a $300 Taco Bell bill? We in the back of my motherfucking Ghost.
Maybe in some mukbangs. Nikado avocado, maybe, yeah.
We're filming a song with Ray J called ATM, right?
Ass to mouth?
Yeah, they're on it. And they like,
yeah,
I brought them all this shit for catering. They're like, we don't want none of this shit. We want Taco Bell. I said, all right, I'm going to send a runner. No, you take us. I had a Ghost at the time. We jump into the motherfucker.
A lot of good stories about rappers who get famous and then go on tour or go to an exotic place and then can't handle the food and basically freak out. Because Chief Keef went to France for one day and then left because he didn't like the food, which if you've ever been to France, it's pretty easy to understand why.
That's a fact. What I'm saying is this, right? What I'm saying is this. Bro, dude is too possessive. And Chris Brown is talented. I think he can rap, he can sing, he can dance, he can do all kind of shit. Quavo, his whole delivery and persona doesn't say battle rap, right? You know how he delivers his music? You can hear what he's saying.
Like trap,
but ad-libs and this shit, that way and shit, right? So he's jumping into a lane that's not his lane. You understand what I'm saying?
Like him saying, like, you ain't Michael Jackson.
Kendrick Lamar can't do what Quavo does.
He said, you ain't Michael Jackson. Beat it. That does not do anything. Listen, like, that does not make a dent in what we're talking about here. Because Chris Brown's really coming with some scathing shit.
Chris is going from singing to rapping, right? And he understands rap music. He done featured on some hits, and he running around these streets, right? And you can't.
Chris Brown could just be a rapper. He could take all the singing, put it aside, fuck it. He could just be a rapper.
I think he's going to do what Tyrese tried to do.
He might be bigger.
Half rap, half R&B album.
I feel like people would, like, I actually feel like if he just decided, fuck it, I'm full rapper now, I'm going to
tell you what I would have did.
He been rapping though.
Yeah, but I'm saying if that's like,
you know what I would have did if I was Quavo? I would have took one of Chris Brown's hits, like The Grass Ain't Greener, and I would have trolled him with my lyrics, singing, and made everybody laugh about it. I would have not gave him a challenge as a rapper, which solidified him now having a real rap song. I wouldn't have gave him that. I'd have made fun of this shit and gave people something to talk about and trolled him on one of his tracks as me playing R&B.
Or you can fight him.
Quavo ain't scared to fight.
They say Chris Brown ain't turning down shit. He really
I don't know, bro. The last fight I had, me and Frenchie, him and Soulja Boy. Frenchie went to Burbank to meet with Chris Brown. Chris Brown called out Soulja Boy. I drove to Vegas, right, with the contract.
You're always looking for a reason to drive to Vegas.
No. Soulja Boy signed it. I called Frenchie. Chris Brown told Frenchie, man, that nigga ain't gonna sign it. He said, Wack just sent me the screenshot. He signed it. We offered them double of everything that they agreed to previously with Floyd, right? Fight was gonna be in Dubai. All the perks, everything they needed, it was there.
Definitely need perks.
When not those type of perks, just everything that came with it. And when it came time to signing, Soulja Boy signed, Chris Brown didn't.
Do you think it's over the line for Chris Brown to say the thing about when Takeoff died, everybody wishes it was you? That's a nasty sentence.
I'm gonna tell you why it's not over the line, right? And it's hard for me to say this, but we just critiquing the song.
Right.
The minute Quavo included Nephew's voice in the diss track, and the things that Takeoff was saying, right, about fuckboy shit, even though we know he wasn't saying that about CB.
But that was his response to Chris Brown saying everybody wished it was you.
Yeah, well,
then he puts out his response and has Takeoff.
What I'm saying is, Takeoff did some shit. I mean, Quavo did some shit, right, which kept Takeoff's name alive, right? And I hope CB has the respect, because once he did that, he opened up the doors for CB to come back and say whatever he want about whatever's involved in that song, right? But nah, nigga, when niggas is going for your neck, niggas is going for your neck. Motherfuckers say all the time they wish it was me other than Nipsey.
Yeah, Spiffy was going hard with that narrative.
Who?
Spiffy Luciano.
Who was that?
Okay.